All right, World of Wonder, we are here at the Ely Callaway Performance Center. Today is Elite Iron Day. We're gonna talk about how we came up with an iron for every type of player out in the market. A lot of exciting stuff. We're gonna hit them all, talk about it. It's a World of Wonder, here we go. Okay, a lot of changes coming off of the AI Smoke platform. So they made some tweaks to these, so I'm just gonna get into the standard head here. And I'm actually really excited to hit these because I saw these at HQ and saw the way they looked and actually thought they were a tour iron the first time I grabbed them when I kind of saw them sitting like this. So we have Elite, then we have Elite X, which is gonna be your extra forgiving super game improvement. And then like we usually do, we have the Elite HL, which is a higher lofted, higher launching platform. That's kind of like the Elite Standard. So there's a fourth iron. We have a max fast iron. It's got light shafts, lighter heads, so you can swing it faster. So as you get older, you can still get the same ball speed and same performance that you would if you were my age or maybe a little bit older than me. So these are the big changes here. Obviously you have AI Smart Face, just like the driver. The supercomputer's been getting smarter and smarter and smarter and working with more players. So you have a more forgiving face across the face, which obviously dials in spin, launch, ball speed, all the fun stuff. But the other thing that they did, which I'm a big advocate for, is they really worked on the sole of the iron. So I am a big advocate that the sole of the iron, as awesome as all this stuff is, it's the sole of the iron and the turf interaction that it produces is kind of what makes an iron forgiving. It really dictates where on the face that you hit it. So if you look at this, let me get it close to the camera here. This is a 7 iron on the Elite. You have a little bit of a leading edge relief here. So they added a little bit of bounce to the front edge just to make it get into the turf a little faster for some of those players that need a little bit of extra help getting it through the turf. Some of these game improvement irons, they have really, really wide soles because the CG is really low. Kind of feels like you're hitting driver off the deck all the time. So that's kind of the big story. Obviously the microspheres, all the Callaway stuff packed into these irons. I have not hit this iron yet. So I'm gonna start with just the Elite with no other letters to it, just the normal iron. So let's just talk really quickly about the appearance of the iron. So what I like about it is obviously fast, it's forgiving, it has all the things, but it actually has a nice shape to it. It's got the nice chrome finish, a little bit of offset. I will call it a middle ground top line. I mean, the whole thing just kind of fits in a nice package. So like if you put this in my bag and this was an iron that, for example, a better player had, I'd set it down and go, yeah, that looks like a better player iron. So let's hit some balls here and see what happens. So this is a 7 iron. Yes, before you ask, the lofts on all these irons are going to be a little bit on the stronger side. Yes, it increases the ball speed, but it also dials in the actual way the ball flies. It still has to look like a 7 iron in the air with a CG placement and all that stuff. You have to do that to make the ball not look like a circus in the air. So that's why the lofts are a little stronger. You'll get some ball speed out of it, but ultimately it's for how the ball is going to fly. Pretty good. 128, 179. Gotta love that though. It's still spun at 6,900. Now I don't know if that was a product of, we're using Chrome Tour X golf balls, but straight up, those numbers at that launch and that spin, that's pretty good. I'm looking for an iron like this to spin it in the low 6,000s for me. So far the numbers are pretty awesome. I'm gonna call them out here in a second. That was a little bottom groover. Still got 126, 175, still spun at 6,000 or 6,100. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go to the HL. So I get a lot of questions about why they have an HL iron. I have no problem getting the ball up in the air, but there's players that still hit it good, that are a little bit, maybe a little bit older or the swing speed's not there, that hit it good, but they need the launch. These irons don't really do what they need to do unless you can get them up in the air. So the HL iron is for that reason. So it's going to have a little bit lower center of gravity. The shape's going to be a little bit different. So this is a bigger platform. This one's a little beefier. Sole's slightly wider. You still have the kind of the modified sole though to help it get through the turf. And I'm expecting this, if that one launched consistently at 17, I'm assuming this is going to launch at 18, 18 and a half. Probably not spin as much. And honestly, I don't know if it'll go as far. I don't know, we'll find out. Yep, straight up in the air. Like really high. That launched at 19.8, 127 ball speed, spun at 5,800, which is about right, and it carried out there 174. Same thing, big high draw, right out of the middle. 127, 176, 63.95 spin. That one launched at 19.5. So these are launching 2 degrees higher and spinning about 200 or 300 RPMs less, which is about right. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Let's see what happens when I really try to drive one down though. Yeah, it's fine, a little skinny. Good numbers though, 122, 168, still spinning at 6,100, and it launched at 13. Okay, now we're gonna get to the X. So by nature, this one should be ultra forgiving. You got smart face, you got the microspheres, you got the ball speed, you got the sole. It's got a thicker top line. Okay, hit it pretty good. 126, so this is where this one gets interesting. 126, the launch is 18.5, but the spin dipped down to 5,200, which is kind of what this should be. This one should launch high with pretty low spin. This is kind of what these irons are supposed to do. These live closer to a driver than the rest of them do. These Super Game Improvement irons is basically a driver that looks like an iron on a stick. And I think we do that better than anybody in the industry to make them still look good. Straight up in the air, still out of the middle. Gotta love it, 126, 176, spun at 54.29, and it launched at 19.5. I'm gonna try to hit one, I'm not gonna try and hit it on the heel, I just kinda wanna see what happens when so I'm gonna try and duck under one and see if I can get it out of the toe and just see what happens when I hit it out of the toe. The only way I can do that is I have to get this way. Let's see. That was slightly out of the toe. Look at that thing fly though. Nice soft draw. Hit that out of here. Great ball speed, 125, 178, spun at 56.50, and it launched at 17.7 out of the toe. So, what have we learned? When they say that they have an iron for everybody, they definitely do. Because the Elyte standard iron, like they're great, they spin, they're long, they get through the turf great. The HL does what it's supposed to do, it launches really high and it's long and the spin dips down a little bit, and then the X is just an absolute Mack truck. And then you have the light one for the older players. So thoroughly impressed with the Elyte irons. If you have any more questions on Elyte, go to CallawayGolf.com, World of Wonder website. It's Johnny from the lab at ECPC. We're out of here.